Assalamu alaikum, comrades. Today we're going to take a look at this. Look at it. It is a tourism brochure for Soviet Moldova. It's not actually dated, but based on the pictures, which I'll show you, I'm pretty sure it's late 60s, early 70s. It is produced by Intourist, one of the Soviet Union's most notorious travel agencies that specifically advertises towards the West. And so this entire thing is in English. Soviet Moldova is by far my favorite Soviet republic, so I'm really excited to show this to you. But first, what exactly is Intourist? Intourist was a Soviet tour operator that was founded in 1929. It does still operate today, but it's not quite the same. They were the main tourist agency responsible for managing foreigners' access to travel within the Soviet Union. It wasn't just tours, they had hotels in all of the Soviet republics. They produced a lot of literature and maps and educational content in English and other Western languages for these populations to become more educated and interested in the Soviet Union and, of course, to travel there. In total, there were over 70 million tourists from 162 countries who visited the Soviet Union between 1956 and 1985. And now, let's take a look inside of this. Okay, so here it is. Welcome to Soviet Moldova, or Moldovia. Something to note is that often former Soviet republics, the transliteration changes over time, and the way that we refer to it changes over time. So Moldova in the English language today is most commonly referred to as Moldova, but some still call it Moldovia or Moldavia. It really depends. I prefer Moldova, so even when I'm referencing things like this, I will still say Soviet Moldova. Now, look at this cover. It's very, very cute. Two individuals, a man and a woman, in traditional Moldovan dress. And you got the cute little Intourist logo in the corner. Here you have a traditional inside of a house. This is really common all over the region, Romania, Moldova, Bulgaria. Really common sort of furniture and design, and a little traditional spread. Have you heard the words casa mare? In Soviet Moldova, they mean guest room, the room that has the best of everything that is in the house. Furniture, carpets, crockery, etc. And of course, if you don't recognize it, Moldova and Romania, they use the, well, Romanian and Moldovan languages. There's slight differences today in Moldova. A lot of people also speak Russian because of it being a former Soviet state. And you'll notice a lot more Russian influence in Moldovan language, but it's essentially the same as Romanian. Man, people are going to kill me for this. Anyways, what I'm trying to say, it's a Latin-based language. It's one of the few Romance languages that's often forgotten about because it's surrounded by Slavic-speaking countries. So perhaps if you speak a Romance language, the fact that they refer to this as casa mare might surprise you. This is my favorite page. There's a wonderful map over here. It shows you where Soviet Moldova is on a map of the Soviet Union. It's really interesting because when the Soviet Union is the center focus, Moldova looks very, very north, but look at any map of Europe and Moldova is not so north. But it's quite interesting that it appears as such on a map just of the USSR. This pictorial map is really cute. It consists of two individuals in traditional dress, a lot of grapevines as well, because Moldova produces much, much wine. Even today, post-Soviets, one of the things that they were counting on to support their economy was their wine production. Yet today, Moldova is the poorest post-Soviet nation and the poorest nation in Europe. It's quite sad. The Soviet Union certainly helped them thrive. This is their crest. And on the map, it does say the Moldovan Soviet Socialist Republic is situated in the southwest of the Soviet Union. The Moldovan SSR borders on the Socialist Republic of Romania. Romania here, R-U. See, transliteration changes. It also shows you, I believe this is showing what train gauge this is. Never mind, don't listen to me. It's literally just showing you where the train tracks are, and that is a legend. So the next couple of pages, all of this text, which of course you can pause and read if you'd like to, it goes over the history of Moldova, which is really fascinating. Definitely worth a read. I'm just not going to read it all to you right now. Lots of information on Bessarabia specifically and its growth. On this page you have again more traditional dress, wonderfully beautiful, worth the constant illustrations. And here you have an actual photo of a woman in traditional dress. And I believe, I don't know what kind of building's behind her, never mind. But cute. Also, we have the old spelling of the capital city. It is pronounced today Chișinău. Don't kill me. But here it's Kishinev. Interesting. All right. Now this is an interesting paragraph, so I'm going to read you some of it. Although 5 centuries old, it has, like many other Soviet cities, become younger, an ordinary miracle, as the process is sometimes described. The unselfish aid of all of the fraternal Soviet peoples and the selfless labor of the Moldovan people have made it a flourishing center of the republic's political, economic, and cultural life. Its plants produce tractors, deep well pumps, electromechanical equipment, oscillographs, refrigerators, washing machines, carpets and rugs, cigarettes, and brandies that are famous far beyond the Soviet Union. Before the establishment of Soviet power, Chișinău did not have a single establishment of higher education. Now it is the city of science, being the seat of the Academy of Sciences of the Moldovan SSR, and of about 40 research and design institutes and laboratories. It is a town of students as well. 50,000 young people study at its university, 5 institutes, and dozens of specialized secondary schools. Now here we have some pictures of people doing traditional dance, the hora, as they call it in Moldova and Romania. This is mentioning how there are now 5 professional theaters, which is amazing. Opera, ballet, dance, wonderful. It says plays by Soviet and foreign authors are staged by the Moldovan Musical Drama Theater, named after Pushkin. Yes, and much about their folk instruments and dance. And here is a woman with a job that I want. I want to be the docent at a museum of the history of the Moldovan SSR's Communist Party. I want to be her. See, if you visit Soviet Moldova, go back in time, and you can visit the Museum of the History of the Communist Party of Moldova and its branch, Russia's first underground printing shop where Lenin's newspaper, Iskra, was put out. There is also the G.I. Kotovsky and S.G. Lazo Museum, with most interesting exhibits related to the life and work of these Civil War heroes. I want to go. Now this is talking about the local Lore Museum, which has a rich collection of Moldovan national costumes and carpets. Here's a carpet. The national costume worn by women consists of a white linen shirt with colorful embroidered ornaments on the front of the sleeves, a plachta worn over the skirt, which by its color scheme and ornaments resembles a carpet. Moldova is famous for its hand-woven carpets, which can be described as amazing multicolored poems. There are several architectural monuments in the capital of the Republic, including a 19th century cathedral that has now been converted into an exhibition hall, a branch of the Arts Museum. Now, this is one of those instances where a place of worship was converted into something else, though I should note that often this happened because it wasn't serving an adequate amount of people. I've actually recently been looking at documents from Moldova and their relationship with different religious groups within Moldova and how they reported back to the Religious Affairs Committee of the Soviet Union. So they did have other places of worship, but not this one. And look at these two flirting over here. You will fall in love in this eternally young city. Now this page is about the collective farms. Visit to numerous collective and state farms, as well as the towns of Tiraspol, which is the capital of Transnistria today, the tiny bit of Moldova that has hung on to this beautiful past. So this tells you what each town is known for, which is quite interesting. Again, Tiraspol, the capital now of Transnistria, is one of the centers of Moldova's machine building, light, canning, and winemaking industries. And the next page. This page is more about the wine and hospitality, again with some beautiful photographs of Moldovan scenery and grapes. And that's the end. This is the back of it. It is a relatively small and thin brochure. Visit the blossoming orchard, the hospitable and sunny Moldova. And then it tells you about where you can get this information about a trip to the USSR. Published in the USSR, the old address, and look at this wonderful photo of all of these young people in traditional dress, playing traditional music, I can assume. Man, forgive my veiny hands, I have circulatory issues. Anyways, wonderful. What do you think? Isn't it neat? I love these kinds of things. Did you imagine that something like this was made in the Soviet Union? Do you think they did a good job? Would you visit Soviet Moldova? And have you heard of Intourist before? There were also other tourism agencies, but I don't think any of them quite have the reputation or quality as Intourist does. And I know a lot of people who collect Soviet items, specifically paper items, love to collect Intourist items. There are so many interesting and colorful maps and brochures and even records as well. If you're interested in getting your own items like this, there are tons of listings available for shipment in at least the United States on all the usual sites you would get antiques and vintage items from. There's also Russian seller sites like Avito, but they don't always ship to you. It's better if you know someone in Russia. Just please only buy these items if you're going to appreciate them as much as I do. Otherwise, I will fight you for them, especially if you take something that I want. Seriously, prove to me that you're more passionate than I am. I dare you. Don't take the things I'm gonna bid on. Anyways, happy hunting. Just, beware. Anyways, thanks for taking a look inside with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Please be inspired by history. And if you like what I do here, consider subscribing if you haven't, following me on Instagram and TikTok, perhaps supporting me on Patreon, or even giving me a one-time donation through my PayPal. Support my research, comrades. All right, goodbye.